question for you. Are you a cat lover or a dog lover? I have to admit, I am a dog guy. For me, it's a loyalty thing. If I was in a pool drowning, my wiener dog would jump in and drown with me. My cats, on the other hand, they would just watch me drown with a condescending look, trying to make me feel guilty because I'm not going to feed them that night. Sadly, there are some evil people in power who don't understand the love you've got for your fur babies, and they view that dog hair all over your jacket as a sign of uncleanliness. But how about we just avoid it being an issue by keeping lint rollers everywhere? Seriously, if you own animals, get a subscription on Amazon for lint rollers. I know we get 3 every couple months and we keep them in the vehicles, near the door in our coat and shoe room, and I know I got 2 of them floating around here in the office. Now, what about pet smells? This one's a little bit harder. The best advice I can give you is to keep your clothing in a room your pet will not be in. If you're a pet owner and you've got a house that smells, there are 3 things that can help here. First up, never neglect the cleaning. Laying down baking soda, vacuuming, mopping, cleaning out litter boxes. Next up, consider an air purifier. Make sure to read the reviews. Look for the one that other animal owners are raving about. Lastly, and this one's a bit extreme, if you can't get the smell out of your clothing, then send them off to the cleaners, and in between cleaning visits, use Febreze. Now, speaking of odor, let's talk about your breath. Most of us are nose blind to our own breath, and if it's not too bad, most people around you aren't going to say anything about it. They're just going to get out of your way. If it's been over an hour since you brushed your teeth, if you like to eat spicy food, if you like to eat food with garlic, if you like coffee, if you suffer from a dry mouth, as you get older, your mouth produces less saliva. All of these things can produce bad breath. To fix this problem, or really to keep it at bay because it's always going to be coming back, first up, see your dentist. In certain cases, bad breath can be a sign that something is really wrong inside your mouth. Your dentist or hygienist will catch that, especially if you see them every 6 months like you should. When you drink water, that saliva that was in your mouth that is causing the bad breath is washed down the throat. The water, of course, also helps keep you hydrated and moisturizes the mouth. Next up, consider getting a tongue scraper or tongue brush, or I would actually recommend both. I know in my case, on my tongue, I've got really deep grooves, and so I need to use a scraper to clean it off once a day. When it comes to flossing, make sure to floss daily and floss every tooth that you want to keep. And last but definitely not least, use an electric toothbrush. Now, why an electric toothbrush versus a cheaper old school manual one? Well, gents, in my experience, it simply comes down to getting a better clean with less effort consistently. With an electric toothbrush, the brush head just has to touch the tooth, and then the electric brush's oscillations do the rest. Seriously, in a matter of 2 minutes, you have thousands of tiny movements that do an excellent job of dislodging the food and buildup on your teeth. And gents, if you are in the market for an electric toothbrush, you want to check out Laifen's Wave. So what I love about the Laifen Wave is it's using advanced technology. We're talking 60-degree oscillations and a specialized servo system, which translates into a deeper clean with less effort. Seriously, about 6 years ago, I was using manual toothbrushes, and I probably went a year without visiting the dentist. The appointment kept getting pushed until I couldn't postpone it because I had pain and bleeding in my mouth. I had periodontitis. And here's the deal, gents. Investing in a good electric toothbrush is an investment in yourself and your oral hygiene. All right, so let me take a second and show you exactly what you're going to get. As you can see, this thing is packaged like an iPhone. Now, as you can see, we have the main electric toothbrush body right here. And then underneath, we've got the quick charge magnetic cable and 3 different brush heads. Now, the blue brush head is the super clean, high efficiency cleaning brush. The purple one on the other side is the ultra white, and that one in the center is for gum care and gentle cleaning. And what I love about this is it makes brushing and brushing efficiently a no-brainer. Now, it literally took me 90 seconds to connect my app to my brush. With the app, you control vibration strength, oscillation range, and oscillation speed. That being said, if you just want to keep it simple, this thing turns on and off with a simple push of the button. Oh, and the best part, the price. This electric toothbrush is incredibly affordable. And when you need to replace the brush heads, you can get those at a fair price as well. Gents, if you care about your teeth, if you want to eliminate bad breath, if you want good oral hygiene, check out the Laifen Wave. In the description of today's video, I'm putting a link over there where you get the best deal on the web. The next repulsive style mistake that you've got to be careful of, overgrown nose and ear hair. So this is one of the great jokes in life. As you age, as a man, the hair starts to fall off your head and instead grows out of your nose and your ears. But seriously, a lot of guys don't notice, but it's especially bad for taller guys because everyone's looking up to them. So guess what? They're looking right up your nose, and when you got a forest coming out, it's visible to everyone. Now, I get it. The hair in your nose, even in your ears, you could argue serves an evolutionary purpose. And I'm not saying to wax it, although you could. I did it, and I didn't think it was that bad. But the point I'm making here is just to keep it tamed, keep it under control. Seriously, a mustache is the hair groomed on your upper lip, not the hair coming out of your nose. Having a tool, a simple nose hair trimming tool that uses batteries. I find these are best. There are some manual ones out there, but I found that those pinch. And yes, I know there are specially designed scissors that you can use, but for me personally, it scares the heck out of me sticking scissors up in my nose. So this next one, similar to the last point, can be solved by having a grooming routine. What I like about routines is that you don't have to think about it. It's just something that you do every single week. And if you happen to miss 1 week, usually you'll catch it on the next one. But what I'm talking about here, guys, your nails. Now, this may seem like a small thing, but when you go read the forums over on Reddit, there are hundreds and hundreds of women talking about these experiences.
Every time I see a guy with very long nails, I'm grossed out and instantly lose respect for them.
And the way these women are describing the nails, you would think like you're reading a horror novel. I mean, they are just like, yeah, I'll never let him get close to me. He ain't sticking his hands anywhere near me. Now, gents, I'm not saying you got to go get a manicure, but what I am saying is simply learn to use a file. That's perhaps the easiest and safest way to take care of your nails. Have a pair of clippers, have a pair of scissors, maybe all three in a grooming kit that you've got access to, and on a weekly basis, you just simply take care of business. By the way, gents, I'm not just talking about your fingernails, also your toenails, especially during the summer. Now, a quick tip here. When you get a grooming kit, understand that there are toenail clippers and there are fingernail clippers. They are going to be different in size. And gents, you don't want to overdo this. The nail should be flush with the skin of the toe. And for some reason, if it's painful or you can't get the right angle, again, use a file. If you got growth or it's a strange color, you got fungus or it's green, yeah, go see a doctor. Now, what if you bite your nails? Now, you probably already know this is a bad habit, but how do you stop? The best tip I've ever heard, and I've heard this works again and again, is go get a manicure. Because when you spend money on your nails, you are not going to bite something you spent money on and you want to take good care of. But view it as a treat to yourself, and if anyone asks why you're there, just say, hey, Antonio sent me. Now, this next one, I'm not sure it's repulsive, and I have to admit that it's something I don't have an issue with, because whenever I put on a pair and if they have a hole in them, that I don't like the way it feels in my shoes. But a lot of times you're going to go visit maybe someone, you got to take your shoes off. Guys, you don't want to have socks that have holes in them and you got your big toe sticking out. It just doesn't look good. Now, if you're really thrifty, there are tutorials on how you can actually mend your socks, which I recommend doing, especially if they are a nicer pair. But I think in a lot of cases, guys just continue to wear things that are falling apart. And the socks, hey, it's cheap. No one's going to notice. It doesn't bother me until you have to take your shoes off. And then everyone sees that you've got these stained yellow socks with holes. It just looks bad. And speaking of yellow, let's talk about your white shirts. Whether it's a dress shirt, whether it's a white t-shirt, you get those pit stains, and it's maybe the deodorant or maybe it's just the sweat, but over time and through the washes, it starts to yellow, it starts to discolor. It's clean, it's fine, it still gets the job done, but this isn't something you want to wear out in public, because those pit stains, those yellow stains, and they can also pop up in other areas around the collar, it makes the shirt look dirty, it makes it look nasty. Next up, let's talk about dry, flaky skin. So one of the worst places that we see this is in and around the hair, dandruff. You know about it, you've heard about it. There are specialty shampoos that work to condition the hair and to keep it at bay. I highly recommend it if you are suffering from dandruff. And here's the thing with flaking skin, it may be something you haven't even had in the past. All of a sudden it shows up. Maybe you move to an area in which it's colder, it's drier, especially during the winter. All of a sudden you're wearing dark clothing and you start to find just white flakes, or you start to notice them in your hair. Definitely something you want to take care of. But flaking skin doesn't just happen right there on the scalp. It also can happen on the face and on other parts of the body. And again, these rashes, this irritation, the flaking of the skin can pop up because of environmental reasons. It can happen because of age. It can even happen because of a reaction, maybe something you ate. In any case, one thing I found very useful to keep in my vehicles along with that lint roller is actually a small bottle of moisturizer. Again, maybe it's the Boy Scout in me, but I like to be prepared. I have these things stashed away because I know I'm going to get in my car, I'm going to be going off to an event, and I'm going to realize, man, my face is just really dry. I need some moisturizer on my hands. And boom, when I need it, it's there. Now, this next mistake is big, and it's also avoidable if you understand how to wear fragrance properly. Guys, I got you covered. How to wear fragrance properly without choking people out. I go over it in the video. Check it out right here, guys. This is going to ensure that you don't choke people out, that you wear a great smelling fragrance, you wear it properly. So check it out. Good video right here. Solid. Yeah, you got to watch the video. Boom, right there.